Hello and welcome to today's TQ Solutions overview on improving career and talent mobility. In the next few minutes, we're going to take a look at the TQ talent management system and touch on several items on how we can improve talent mobility and career mobility within an organization. We're going to take a look at the talent management software capabilities and how we can enhance knowledge and awareness within the organization, how we enable employees to highlight the values and qualification and interests they have and bring to the organization, how they create job-specific benchmark profiles to identify key traits that are necessary for success, and how we can do that on a job-by-job level, and how do we objectively assess employees' fit and what positions they may go into. So as we do that, we're going to log into our demo database here, Verum Analytics, and I'm going to log in as an employee within Verum named Rollo Banks. And Rollo is a manager within the organization and has a number of direct reports. As we can see when we log in, Rollo's taken directly to his homepage, and with a good bit of information here. Front and center, we see that there is a task dashboard that shows Rollo what activities or tasks he needs to accomplish. In this case, he's got a number of e-learning courses that he needs to complete. He needs to conduct a performance review for conversation with some of his direct reports. He's also been asked to fill out a 360, and he also has an appraisal to fill out for one of his direct reports as well. So the task dashboard is going to tell Rollo any tasks that he needs to complete that are time sensitive and remind him if he has not completed those. Across the top here, Rollo also has some quick links to some key pieces of information. And where we're going to focus first is this profile, this employee profile. So as we're thinking about career and talent mobility within an organization, one of the first things that we need to do to gain that insight is to have awareness and input from the employees themselves about what their interests are. So this employee profile gets updated a number of different ways. One, there's typically a feed over from your HRIS or payroll solution to bring in as much information as we can, but there's also a self-service component to this. So in this case, Rollo has the ability to see his own profile. Obviously, certain fields can be hidden that only he can see, and there's other things that managers can see. But as we see here, lots of basic information that's getting pulled over from the HR system, such as hire date, manager, salary information, those types of things. But you'll notice down here, we're starting to also see some information around really mobility information. So is Rollo willing to relocate? Is he willing to travel? What are his desired positions or location preferences? So each employee has the ability to come into their profile and update this information. So here we can see information around the mobility. I can change my willingness to relocate or travel, my promotability stuff, but I should also go in here and add new positions that I have an interest in moving into. Right now I've indicated VP of Sales and then ultimately to be president of the organization, as well as any location preferences. Maybe I want to do this to a specific location or area of the country or area of the world, depending upon the makeup of your organization. But very nice for each employee to be able to go in and put this information in. Additionally, each employee can go in and add some other information in here that can be valuable when we think about career mobility and talent mobility. So providing insight into external positions they held outside of Verum Analytics. Insight into what are their top skills and what language skills do they have. Academic background, both formal education as well as other education, as well as then any memberships, licenses, or honors that they may have. Again, giving them the ability, empowering your employees to document this information, knowing that then there will be visibility by leadership within the company to see who has what interest, what skill sets, and potential career desires. Okay, if we shift gears here and move over to an administrator within Verum Analytics, somebody that's in an HR role that has visibility into the organization, we're going to take a look at what information now they can glean around career and talent mobility. So we're going to log in here as Carmen Hernandez. And as Carmen enters the application, again, Front and center, she sees her task dashboard with all the different things that she has going on right now. Across the top, she also has access to her own profile, to her team, dashboards for key pieces of information as it relates to compensation, performance management, goals, succession planning, etc., all right at her fingertips, as well as an easy way to access and look up information on employees. So we're going to use our friend Rollo, who we were just logged in as. We've now switched hands, put on a new hat, and we're now logged in as, again, Carmen, who's in HR and an administrator within the organization. So if Carmen wants to look up information on Rollo, very quickly with a few keystrokes, types Rollo's name and can instantly click on his name and be taken to his employee profile. As we can see, similar view to what Rollo saw, with a little bit of information layered in here. One, we can see a link to bench strength analysis that it pertains to Rollo's team. We also can see this talent review summary. So talent review processes are important within organizations, and our system allows you to automate that process and gives managers the ability to identify how promotable do they think somebody is, what are possible roles that the manager thinks this individual is ready to go into, and their readiness around that, their potential scores, their risk of loss and reasons, those types of things. So I can very clearly see what his most recent talent review data indicates. Additionally, a few other things that we see in here is this revolutionary TQ Insights concept that we have rolled out over the last couple of months. This is all driven off of the personality-based assessment, our proprietary personality assessment, and provides a level of insight into the employee around how do we best give them feedback and how do we manage them in a better way. So more prescriptive analysis around the individual. And here we can see creativity is a key asset, and how do we leverage that asset, as well as this person, Rollo, is a highly competitive individual. And again, some insight on how do we best leverage that. Very helpful to know when we think about career mobility and how we develop somebody. Again, down below, I can see all of the information around employment information, skills, background, associations, and achievements. Additionally, at this level, maybe I want to look a little bit further into some of his past results. So here, obviously, we want to know when we think about moving somebody around, how have they performed in the past? And so at the employee level, at the click of a button, I have at my fingertips information into key metrics that we track as an organization. What's the potential rating? His most recent rating was a 4.5. Well, how has that trended over time? Additionally, on performance scores, I can see how he has trended over time in his performance evaluation scores. Any of these other key metrics that we want to track, these are all configurable by organization. Additionally, we can see down here past performance scores and understanding what those have been with a click link to the actual report itself, 360 surveys that have been done, the personality assessment to understand key traits and characteristics, as well as any compensation information. So again, at the click of a button, right at my fingertips, I have lots of information on this individual. Well, maybe we want to take a look at Rollo's assessment when we think about potential. Things that go into that and the ability to move into other roles. Obviously, you want past performance. We see that there's been a good history there. We see that his potential rating has been high. We can look at past performance scores and 360s to understand what gaps have been there and how we develop those. But another valuable asset is personality data. And so we're going to click into a report that we have here pulled up for Rollo's personality assessment. And this is going to give us lots of good information in here around his problem-solving skills, his emotional and motivational patterns, his interpersonal skills. We can see in this case how he compares to a manager position. So the TQ talent management platform allows us to create benchmark profiles for key positions within the organization. And then you can ascertain through our assessment to determine, is an individual going to be a good fit for that position? Used heavily for external selection as well as internal mobility. So here we can see a good fit to be a manager. We can see Rollo scored an 83.3, information in here about how he fits, but we've also see how does he fit for other positions in the organization? Not a great fit for a credit analyst, pretty good fit for a branch manager, but a very, very good fit to eventually be VP of sales. If I want to see more details about that, I can log in and do so. We can also from here see other potential assets and limitations that the individual has, and what that may mean from how we want to, again, interview that individual and determine are they going to be the right fit as we think about career and talent mobility. So the assessment can be very valuable information on an individual and what their capabilities are and how they may fit in a given role. Okay, so great information there. We've looked at Rollo on how he can fill out his employee profile, how Carmen as an HR administrator can have visibility into his profile and some additional information around competency scores, custom metrics, assessment data. We saw the talent review information and how that fit in here. Now let's shift gears and instead of looking at an individual level, let's start thinking holistically as we want to look across the organization. So as an administrator with the proper access rights, Carmen can go in and perform what we refer to as a talent search. This talent search capability is going to allow Carmen or any other leader that has access the ability to identify what type of talent she is looking for within the organization and perform a search to see who shows up that meets that criteria. Lots of different use cases for this. Obviously, if we want to just look at high performers and high potentials, great thing to do. If we want to look for individuals that said that they are, yes, high performers and high potentials, but we've indicated that are willing to relocate, that's something we can check here. We may also say that we want to see those that have said that they want to become president of the organization. Who wouldn't want to, but we want to see who has indicated that that is in their career path and career plan and where they want to go. So we've got individuals that are willing to relocate, that say they want to be president, and we want to also make sure that, of course, that these are high performers, consistently high performance scores, as well as high potential ratings by their managers in the talent review process. So we've got our basic search here on these types of things. We do want to make sure that when we look at the search, we can determine on this, is it important to have it indicated as an interest in moving to president, or in this case, we want it to be a must-have, to only return people that meet all of our search criteria here. So if we wanted to refine this further, we certainly can around job skills, education, further location preferences, those types of things. We can do so around some of the other metrics that we saw, etc. But in this case, we're going to look for high performers with high potential that have said that they're willing to relocate and have an interest in becoming president of the organization. So as we can see here, our talent search has returned a list of people that match that criteria. I can see who those individuals are, where they fall in the 9-box of performance versus potential, so on and so forth. Their name gives me a quick link to an overview, kind of a baseball card view of their profile, where I can see key pieces of information, top skills, academic background, rating overview information with a link to their full profile. I can choose to export this list of people. I can also select all of these individuals or a subset of these individuals and then choose to do a number of things. Well, maybe first and foremost, I want to compare these individuals side by side. We're, again, looking for talent within inside the organization and to understand career and talent mobility. So here I can take a look at these individuals, and the side-by-side comparison breaks down their profile into more bite-sized chunks with key pieces of information. The icons here allow me to jump to what their top skills are, their education, or rating information. So very quickly, I can look at these individuals side by side and start to have better insight into the data and giving me information to who we might want to look at and pursue further into a talent pool to become our next president of this division, for example. Lots of information here. We can also, with the click of a button, plot these individuals on a 9-box talent grid. So very quickly here, we've selected our group of people based on what we searched on, and now we can see where they fall. Obviously, in this search, we said we wanted high performers and high potential, so we would expect them to be in this upper right-hand corner, but we can see those details very easily. So as you can see, lots of information and data within the TalentQuest talent management system to help us in understanding and have better visibility into talent mobility and career mobility inside your organization. Empowering employees to take some ownership in their development through their employee profile and indicating their preferences, and giving managers and HR and business leaders great insight and visibility into the organization, who their high performers are, who their high potentials are, those that are willing to relocate, etc. So to recap, we have looked at the talent management software capabilities and how we can enhance knowledge and awareness within the organization, how we enable employees to highlight the values and qualification and interests they have and bring to the organization, how they create job-specific benchmark profiles to identify key traits that are necessary for success, and how we can do that on a job-by-job level, and how do we objectively assess employees' fit and what positions they may go into. And in this, we've utilized information and input from several key modules within the talent management platform, from the employee profile, from performance data to competency data to talent review information and data from the succession module, so on and so forth. So thank you for your time. Hope that you found this to be valuable, and we look forward to having you join us for our next TQ Solutions overview.